Well, good morning, folks. Good to see you. This is the morning of day 2 out here camping at Pine Lake. And excuse any wind noise because we're having big wind gusts. It'll be real calm for a few minutes and then all of a sudden these big gusts. So don't be surprised if there's some pretty loud wind noise. Even though I got the big fuzzy sock on my microphone, it's still, I can tell it's still affecting it. So hopefully we won't have a bunch of wind noise to worry about. I'm going to move my cup here, this big old rock. And take a seat. As you can see, I'm using my backpacking stove to get my coffee going. There's good reason for that. It's this wind. I did not want to start a fire in that fire pit this morning with the wind the way it is. Right now it's 7 o'clock and with these gusts of wind, no way. There's still a lot of dry leaves on the forest floor from last fall, a lot of them. And the last thing I want is for my fire pit to get out of itself and get this forest floor going. No thank you. So, my great breakfast for this morning is postponed. I think I'll be doing it between, sometime between 10 and noon or so, and I'll do it as a brunch. That'll be my breakfast and lunch together. But I need my coffee. Oh, I was going to make that before I did anything. But I had a little bit of coffee left in my cup from last night. Well, about a half a cup. And I don't mind cold coffee. So I grabbed my cup and decided I'm just going to go stroll around a little bit. I went down to where the other couple campsites are. And I saw what looked like a game trail. And I thought, well, I'm going to walk that game trail. Doggone it. I'm glad I brought my hiking stick with. That game trail isn't a game trail. There used to be a nice maintained trail that goes all the way around this lake and comes back out over here where that channel is that goes to the pond. Well, I don't know how the heck they got across that channel. You got to walk through it and it's up to your knees. Even during the dry season, there's got to be 12 inches of water in there or more. So you must have to just walk through the canal there, through the weeds. But I started down that trail and I'm going, holy smokes, this isn't a game trail, it's pretty nice. And I just, before I knew it, I kept going, and I'm looking across the lake, and I'm on the other side of the lake looking over here. And I said, well, I'm this far, I might as well keep going. So I hiked. Sure enough, it comes out right where this trail is. This has got a whole loop trail all the way around this lake. Well, I got all the way back here, and I'm not trudging across that canal to get over here. So I turned around and I took the trail all the way back around and back to here. So that was about, I spent about 45 minutes on that trail. It's about a mile. Yeah, I'd say it's a mile around. 3/4 of a mile around. Maybe a mile and a half. Mile and a half total. There and back. So, that's what I did first thing this morning, not thinking. Heading down a trail with without even thinking. So what am I going to do first thing today? I think I'm going to dig out the hammock and I'm going to try to set that hammock up so I got somewhere comfortable to sit. I did not bring a camp chair with me. I thought I had, but I did not bring a camp chair with me. So I've been sitting on 3 small logs over by my fire pit, and that's fine when I want to sit by the fire. But I'll tell you what, to sit on those logs for any extended period of time isn't very comfortable. And if I string the hammock up, I've got someplace nice to sit. I can take a nap in it later today. So, as I was saying about the wind, we've been lucky so far. We haven't had any big gusts yet. But they're there, they keep coming. But I think those are going to die off the higher the sun gets. I got a big pine squirrel right behind the camera here. He's coming down this big birch tree. He's curious. He wants to know what Sty got for breakfast. But I need to let these winds calm down a bit before I go out on the kayak today. Got this big stone. Sty's going to make himself an anchor. Now I did try to fish last night for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I got 2 real light bites. That was it. And they were light, so they were small, whatever was biting on it. So I'm going to try again today, go out there and try for some panfish and maybe cast a topwater bait and see if I can get a bass to bite. But it doesn't seem like there's any action in the lake right now. So we'll see. I'll be out there, so why not? And plus I want to wait, 7 o'clock in the morning, I want to wait until it warms up. It got down to 42 degrees last night, and this morning when I got up, it was 43. So it's starting to warm up. It's about, I'd say it's about maybe 50 degrees right now. So guess what? My water's just that close to being ready, and I can fix myself a good fresh cup of coffee, and I'll catch up with you guys in just a little bit. I think I'll catch a little bit of video on putting up the hammock. Now, this will be a 2-part video. This is part 1, because I'm going to do a total separate one of being out on the kayak. That'll be a separate video. So I'll do this and a couple activities here and tonight in this video, but the kayaking for today will be in its own video. Okay? So I'll be right back. Be right with you folks. It'll be a little while, but I'll be right back with you. Well, I'm going to put that hammock up. I'm enjoying my coffee. But I'd enjoy it more if I could sit in a hammock. What I've got here, by the way, last night was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right now there's not a cloud in the sky. They forecasted 40% chance of rain today, during the day. There's not a cloud in the sky. It was supposed to be overcast all night. The stars were out, just beautiful. Crystal clear sky, stars were beautiful. I went to bed about 10:30, thinking, well, I'll get up at about 5 or 6 o'clock. Well, at about 11:30, I got up and I sat right here and smoked my pipe and watched the stars and enjoyed every stinking minute of it. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful last night. It was a new moon, so there was no moon. But boy, oh boy, were the stars bright. Yeah, last night was awesome. I did not get back in the bunk until 2 a.m. Then I got up at 6:45 this morning. Well, no, I got up at 5:45 this morning. Oh, so that's 4.5 hours sleep. I might take a nap. um, yep, got up, like I said, and I had a half a cup of coffee from the night before. I took that, my hiking stick, and went for a little walk. Ended up walking 1.5 miles trail. But now we're going to put up a hammock. This is a Fox Outfitters hammock. This is the hammock itself, and this is the rope kit for stringing it up. I got this from my oldest boy, Donnie Running Water. He had ordered 2 of these. And he messaged me one day and said, "Hey, Dad, go over to the house, go in the back door. There's a package sitting there for you." I said, "Well, okay." I went over there, and sure enough, that's what he got for me. So that's why this will be the first time I've set it up. This is a double, so it's a nice wide hammock. I was looking at the specs for it here. It's all triple stitch, the whole thing. And it's got a 400-pound capacity. Its size, it's 10.5 feet long and 6.5 feet wide. That's perfect for this old boy. Now here's the problem. I mentioned earlier, I forgot my camp chair. And I thought for sure I had it with. No, I know exactly where it is. It's sitting right on top of the tarp for the hammock. Back at Running Waters in my adventure trailer. Does me no good here. But I'm not going to spend the night in the hammock. I'm just going to use it for day use today. Maybe my next trip out, I'll sleep out in the hammock for the night. Last night would have been a good night for it. But, yeah, I've just got a light 40-degree sleeping bag, backpacking bag. And, I was more than warm last night, even though it got down to about 40 degrees. So, that sleeping bag did the trick and would have done the trick out in the hammock too. That's one thing too is this whole hammock weighs 19 ounces. Just so you're aware. Okay, let's get this thing up between a couple of trees. Nice thing with this hammock is it's one of those where the bag for the hammock is attached to the hammock. So you never have to worry about where did I put the bag for that thing. It's right there. first time use, you hang it a little high because none of these ropes have been stretched yet. All the knots are they're snug, but they're not tight. Everything's going to start giving once you get some weight in it. And by the end of the day, it's going to be quite a ways closer to the ground. But there it is. Oh yeah. I'll tell you what did that take? 2-3 minutes? Plus, it feels good. Feels real good. I bet you I can sleep like a baby in that. And it's because it's a double, I can wrap myself, cocoon myself in it. I don't have to worry about skeeters. I don't need a mosquito mesh. You know, everybody wants a mosquito mesh over their hammocks. If you got a big enough hammock, you can just cocoon yourself in it. No skeeters. I'm giving this one an A+. Yes. And they'll get extra credit the night I get to sleep in it. Well, thanks for watching me throw up the hammock. I'm going to let you go for now, and then I'll see you this evening. Or no, maybe this little later this afternoon. I got another thing I'm doing that I'll share with you. And then we'll meet around the campfire. Okay, we'll see you later. Hey folks, you might be wondering what Stye's up to now. Well, we still got a lot of gusts of wind, and it's starting to warm up a little bit. So another hour or so, and I'm gonna fix my brunch. After I eat, I might take a little walk. Then I'm going to be kayaking this afternoon. But for now, it's 9 o'clock. I'm sitting here in the hammock, a lot more comfortable than sitting on them logs over there. And I've already stropped 2 knives, and now I've still got 3 to go. I got this folder buck knife that I want to just hone up a little bit, my neck knife, and this filleting knife. Okay, first of all, stropping. What is stropping? Well, stropping is not sharpening your knife, per se. Stropping is for refining a sharp edge. Taking a sharp edge to a razor sharp edge. You apply, got a stick in my pocket here somewhere. I know I do. There it is. You apply a polishing compound to your strop. Now, when I was a kid, I learned to strop from my grandfather. He was a farmer, one of my grandfathers. And he used straight edge razors. He had a razor strop in his bathroom. It's probably about 30 inches long, hung from the bathroom door. And he'd sharpen that razor blade on that strop. Out in his shop, he had another one that was wider and it was shorter. And that was attached to his tool bench. And that was just a leather strap with a handle on the end, just like the one in the bathroom. And he'd sharpen smaller knives on that. He'd bring them to a razor sharp edge. But for heavy bladed knives, like hunting knives, butcher knives, bigger knives, he said always use a block strop. And his argument is that the block strop will always stay flat and true. With a flexible strop with a razor blade or a small pocket knife, that flexibility helps contour the full shape of the blade. But with a big long blade, you couldn't get it on a flexible strop and be always even with it. And what you do is you lay your knife on at the angle of the grind, and you just walk the knife down the strop from the base to the tip. Just walk it down the strop. Do 5-6 strokes on one side, then come back and do the next. And you keep repeating that, back and forth, back and forth. And what it does is it takes all of the fine burrs off of the knife. Any rollover on the blade, all the fine burrs. Now if there's a nick in the blade or some kind of deformity in the blade itself, then you're going to want to use a stone, because now you need to sharpen the knife to give it a true edge. Then you strop the knife, and in the process of stropping, you're taking all of those fine microscopic burrs and rollovers off of that blade. And eventually, it's sharp, but it ain't sharp enough. Eventually, you'll be able to just shave hair off your arm with it. I've had people say to me, well, Stya, flexible is a lot better. If you want to use a flexible, non-mounted piece of leather, more power to you, do it. This is just the way I was shown when I was growing up. And I've had the best luck with it. And it's a fact, not a fiction, that stropping will get your knife sharper than any stone can. Because this compound you're using on your strop, it's a very fine polishing compound that's finer than any surface of a stone, no matter how hard the stone is, no matter what. This is the finest you can get, is using this kind of compound. Now, there's different compounds out there with different grades where their grits are different. Now, this one, there's a hole in it, hangs on the wall, and there's two different sides. One side's coarser than the other side, and this is belt leather. This is just it's actually an old belt, and it's been glued to this board just for the purpose of stropping. You can make your own, they're easy. This one was just done on a piece of 2x2 that this belt happened to be the same width. And it worked out like $1,000,000. There's other other strops. I'm going to set this aside for a moment. There's other strops for different types of knives. Now, my whittling knife, the carving jack, it's got a square block strop. On one edge, it's got a piece of leather just like that belt. It's got a piece of leather. That's for sharpening the flat blades. Now, all of these fancy cuts, you got a V gouge, you got a round gouge, you got all these different shapes in a carving knife. That strop has that contour on that square block of each of those blades. And you take that compound and you rub it in between, all over that, and then you just pull the blade down that block. You flip it over, it's a reverse contour. So one side it's convex, one side's concave. You flip it over, compound it, and you flip your knife over and you do the other side, back and forth, back and forth. Here's the key to that. That block, the only leather on it is that one long strip that's about 3/4 of an inch wide on the one end of the block. All the rest of it is just wooden. It's wood and cut to match those blades. It doesn't necessarily have to be leather. Certain woods work just as well. They sure do for that carving jack. I mean, my carving jack is razor sharp. But there you go, just a little bit on stropping, and that's what Stuy's doing while he's waiting for this breeze to settle down. And it's getting warm enough. Stuy's going to go put a sleeveless shirt on, I think, and I won't put my shorts on yet, but it's getting close. So I'll catch you in a little bit, guys. We'll make brunch. We're going to call this the end of part 1 on day 2. It's a good day. It's an excellent day. Beautiful. I noticed my phone went dead, so I plugged it into the charger in the truck, and I started the truck up and let it run a little bit because it's been sitting here for 2 days. And I had the radio on. And then I heard the weather. I thought I was hearing things earlier. I could hear this rumble sound way off in the distance. Didn't pay much attention to it. Listening to the radio, severe thunderstorms tonight. And it doesn't sound likely, it sounds like, yes, they're on their way. So, severe thunderstorms tonight. And I thought, well, that ought to be fun. I love thunderstorms. I love camping in thunderstorms. But then they said, rain tomorrow, through the night, tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, with periods of heavy rain throughout the day. So, I had to flip a coin. Do I stick it out? Because it's coming. It is definitely coming. Right now the sun's shining, but boy, the clouds off to the west are really starting to build up. Looking a little rough. So, and every once in a while I hear a rumble. So there must be some thunder back that direction, coming this way. So I flipped a coin to decide, well, do I stick it out or do I wrap it up? You know, I got 2 full good days, well, almost a full day yesterday. I got about 2 hours of film time kayaking. But I got a total of about 4.5 hours. No, I got more than that. I got probably 5.5 hours of kayaking in between yesterday and today. Getting real used to my kayak. I got a lot of video work done, did a lot of things. And then I thought, okay, so what's my schedule look like? If I break camp now, today, and get out of here, everything's dry. And I can take my sweet time. I think I got time. Take my sweet time, get everything packed right, get it put away good, and it's ready to go on the next camping trip. I only have a couple of things I have to take in the house. And I'm all set to go. Or do I stick it out the night and then end up with everything soaking wet? Soaking wet. That would mean I would have to find time between now and my next camping trip to, well, I'd have to make time right away. Get the tent dried out, get everything, all the gear dried out. And if it's going to be raining, and probably raining hard tomorrow, when I'm trying to pack up to get out of here, it's going to be worse yet. I mean, I'll be breaking it down as it's pouring on me. I hate to go home. I really do. But I'm thinking of my next trip. This one was great. I mean, sure, I only got one night, but boy, I got a lot out of these 2 days. And what I'm planning for my next trip is a week from now, being gone a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and come home on a Thursday. And I'll move my live stream to a Thursday night. And that would be out at Birch Grove in Twin Lakes. That's a more common style campground. It's not as primitive as this one. And there may be some people to deal with, but during the middle of the week it won't be bad. So that one's a 4-day, 3-night. Now that one would be worth sticking it out, because if that happened on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, it wouldn't matter to me, because I'm going to be there anyway, straight through. I wouldn't be packing up the next morning and rushing out of here. So that's the decision I've made. I'm going to slowly pack everything up and do a real good job of packing it all up. And I'm going to call it a trip, get everything loaded up, get the kayak loaded, everything, and stick it out here as long as I can before those storms hit. I figure it's going on 4:30. I figure I got a couple hours at least. So I'll fix myself some camp supper, and after I get everything packed up, and then I'll hit the road. And I'll see you guys the next time I'm out. Well, I'll see you on the live streams, the next couple live streams before then, hopefully. So thanks for coming out here to Pine Lake with me camping. I wish we would have had one more day like this. That, you know, you just can't trust them weatherman. Now watch, I'll get all packed up and then the dark gray clouds will go away. Oh, that'll upset me. That'll upset me. But they sounded pretty positive this time. And right now, I believe it. It's real. It got real humid, and right now, another radio station said it was only 63 degrees. There was 63 degrees by 10 o'clock this morning. Right now, it's got to be pushing close to 80, right around 80 degrees, but with this breeze, it feels like 75, and the humidity's high. So yeah, those storms are coming. Those storms are coming. All the conditions are just right for it. Sure like my new hammock. Like having that bugger in camp. My next camp, I don't know if I'll have a spot to hang it or not. I'll have to wait and see what the campsite offers. But I don't think so. That's all right. It's a long summer, and I'm just getting started. So, like I said, thanks for tagging along, folks. I know these videos from out here, camp at Pine Lake, are all long, but it is what it is. So, for you folks that haven't subscribed, hey, somewhere on here is going to be my ugly mug popping up. Go ahead, punch my ugly mug, you'll be subscribed. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, okay? And hey, no matter what, if you got a chance, get in the great outdoors. You won't regret it. This is Sty North saying, you all have a very, very nice day. Bye-bye.